Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into a Friday day live stream. Oh, yesterday was insane. For anyone who was not paying attention, Pump Science officially opened up their open access launch platform for compounds, for actual citizen science, for decentralized science. Anyone can now launch a compound or a series of compounds or a combination of compounds in order to test their longevity, and you get a token just like you would if you were to launch on pump.fun. However, this is pump.science, and we saw 23 new molecules launch yesterday in the last 24 hours. Some of them have bonded and made it off the bonding curve. Some of them have not made it off of bonding curve. Either way, we have a series of new players in the space of decentralized science, and I hope you guys are as excited as I am. A lot of money was made yesterday. Hopefully nobody lost any money, because I don't know why you would lose any money. These are all micro cap little baby things, baby projects that really have not had time to flourish at all. They haven't even started the actual experiments yet. So what is next for this? We will watch, and sometime next week, Pump Science will initiate the worm studies, and we'll start getting data to see which of these compounds is actually going to enhance the longevity of these worms, and then flies, and then mice, and then hopefully humans. And the name of the game is to pick the ones that are going to extend lifespan the most. Right now, we're all just betting on which one we think is going to do it the most, or maybe you're just betting on whichever one you think people will think it might do the best. Or maybe you're betting on whichever one you think people might think will go up in price the most, because that's all you care about. Either way, doesn't matter. The game is on, and I am very excited. We went live for over 2 hours yesterday covering these launches, and it was pretty exciting. It was definitely a fun time in the market, and yeah, here we go, baby. Right now, so far, Wrap and Burp are two of the best performing in the whole space. We have a Wrap from Pill, we have Burp from BNP, and they're doing really, really good. They just airdropped a ton, which made a ton of supply to everyone, which made it tank because everyone sold. And then we have Thyke here, THYQ, thermoquinine, however you pronounce it. This is from a community member in DeSci Shillers, so it chilling up there at number 3 is very exciting. Then we got Troll, of course, NAD+, which I told you guys would be a banger. We have BPC 157, which I think will be a banger. ASGIV, which launched before the allotted time, so they might not actually get to do the experiments. We'll have to wait and see. We have Caffeine, which makes sense, and you can just go down the list and read all of them if you want. Vitamin C, of course, this is the one that I put the most into, so I think I'm probably the only one holding it still, hence it's a $10,000 market cap. Either way, I'm excited. You guys should be excited. And today we're going to talk about the market and decentralized science and just catch up because it's a Friday. The market is selling off pretty aggressively here today. It is not really that surprising to me, because I feel like when we broke below the moving average here back on Tuesday, when we got a close below it, it started giving those signs. The market started feeling like it was looking for a reason to sell off. And then yesterday we got that reason for the sell off. And then today we got another reason for the sell-off, which was the non-farm payroll numbers that came in worse than expected. And on top of coming in worse than expected, they revised down last month and down the month before that, meaning they're just kind of be making up these numbers, which I know we know, but the market always gets surprised. So the economy doesn't look that great. The non-farm payroll numbers, so the number of people that are on payroll that were added to payroll, was reduced down. It wasn't negative yet, but it wasn't growing that much at all. They got reduced down from like 140,000 down to like 14,000, right? And so if we go over to emit, you can see the actual numbers here. You can see the real numbers if you go here. Bam. And so, yeah. The reason the market's throwing a temper tantrum about this right now is because yesterday we got Jerome Powell saying, hey guys, we're not going to cut rates because inflation's come down and it's basically dead, and inflation's not going to likely be a thing anymore, and prices have kind of stabilized and we have maximum employment, and they're really not the job market's not getting any weaker and things just look good. The economy looks strong and healthy. So we're just going to leave rates alone because our triple mandate here, or our dual mandate here, is looking good, right? Where they need stable prices and maximum employment. They were like, we're good, so we're not going to change anything. Then all of a sudden, we get this revision down. And the idea is that Jerome and the Fed knew about these and still didn't do anything. So people are kind of upset about it, politically speaking. People are pretty upset that we're not going to get a rate cut, but then the reason why we're not going to get a rate cut just got erased, so maybe we do get a rate cut, and then everyone's like, I don't know what's going on. And anytime we have misses like this, anytime revisions like this start happening, it is usually preceding some sort of a recession. It's kind of a recession indicator for people, so people start panicking, and they're like, I'm just going to take my money out and just wait a minute. And it's also confusing because at the same time, we continue to get earnings growth at record paces. The S&P 500, the top companies in the S&P 500 have never been so profitable in their entire existence. The S&P 500 as a whole has never made this much money ever before. And so it makes sense to be at all-time highs, but then it also makes sense to be a little defensive, and people just don't know what to do. So market sold off. In this sell-off, we actually didn't get it to break down below this downtrend that we've been in, right? It's still been pretty stable here. We had this line of support, which consistently is getting broken, and it looks like it wanted to break that. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that, and you can see this is a little bit more stable of a just downtrend. So whenever this kind of bull flag breaks out, I think it'll be really good. My expectation is that we have choppiness until we hit this August 8th time frame. August 8th being when the new moon is over and the full moon starts. It's goofy, but I think that's what's actually going to end up playing out. We're not going to decisively break out until after August 8th. So I think we got another week of this nonsense. Good morning, C90. Good morning, David. What's going on, Jorian? Good morning, MK. How's it going, Wild Africa? Welcome into today's Friday Day live stream. As far as Ethereum is concerned, Ethereum also seemingly really wanted to have a bit of a sell-off. So it finally got its reason to have the sell-off, and it's not down a crazy amount. It's not like we've given up any amount of gains. If you kind of look at it, we're just back to where we were back in the middle of July. So things are still looking healthy. It's a clear, good uptrend. We just have a slowdown in that uptrend. And if you look at the indicators, we got a marginal higher high while the RSI was putting in a lower high. So that is usually a top indicator to a T. Whenever you get that, it's generally speaking a temporary top. And so it would make sense to get Ethereum to fall down, honestly, all the way down to 3,200. I would not be surprised if we saw a pretty good sized pullback on Ethereum, down 15 to 20% here, and then consolidate and then continue onwards, reset everything. We'll see. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe the Ethereum staking part of the ETF gets everyone super excited. One thing I am seeing lately is more and more people saying that this is going to be a 5-year cycle. So that paired with the fact that we had the Figma IPO, and the Figma IPO absolutely went nuts yesterday. How many of you guys partook or at least watched that? What's going on, Vibra Finance? Welcome. How many of you guys took place in the Figma IPO yesterday? So they initially sold some of the IPO shares to Wall Street. Guess what level, guys? Guess how much they sold those IPO shares to Wall Street for? The bankers who help IPO companies. $33 per share. And then Wall Street was like, all right, bet, we're going to list it at 90. And then us, Main Street, we were like, yo, I want Figma at 90. That's crazy. I'm going to bid it all the way up to 150. So those initial Wall Street bankers got their shares at $30 and then sold them up here to us for like 120. And it's still holding really strong. That's the cool part, is that it's not like it just immediately sold off and is tanking. This is a healthy looking chart, guys. This looks really good. I hope the moons can save us. Me too, C90. Me too. But it also I'm just going through a lot of things that are on my mind right now because I didn't really have too much planned for the live stream today. But if you look, we had not had a daily close below, we still haven't, by the way, but we didn't have a daily close below the 20-day moving average here since back here on April. So it had been 100 or 99 days since we've had a daily close underneath that 20-day moving average. If you go back in history, this is one of the longest stretches ever in the stock market's history. One of the longest stretches ever, not the longest. I don't know what the longest one was, but 99 days without a daily close below that is one of the strongest rallies we've ever had in stock market history. You go look at where it was from the bottom without any major pullbacks all the way up to the peak there. It was a 43% gain in 4 months without any real pullbacks. So we need to have a pullback. We need to reset. We need everyone to kind of cool off. We need these IPOs to stop going up 500% in a single day. We need people to calm down, and then we can continue on with the party. Otherwise, we might overheat. And I'm fine with either way, honestly. I'd love to make immediate money, but I really am in this for the long term, and so it would be a little bit better for me if we could drag this out a little bit and we get the rest of the year. And maybe it does end up being a longer bull run than 4-year cycle. Maybe we do get a 5-year cycle, but we can only get that if we have large scale pullbacks along the way. If all we do is go straight up, we won't get a longer cycle. But if we can continue to do this stair-stepping, then I think we can get a longer cycle. So Wall Street has the OG rugs standard operating procedure. They really do, dude. They really do, C90. Long story short, it's over. No, it's not over, Zach. I'm loving the new PFP, by the way. It's not over, though. It's not. It's not. We're just getting a cool-off phase. Okay, update on Noble Blocks. Well, I can't give you guys the update right now. I can tell you guys that I had a call with Delroy, and I can tell you guys that he learned from the launch of Noble Blocks, and he learned from all of that, and now his understanding of how to operate in the markets as a founder, as someone who's held to a higher responsibility than other people in the market, is that he needs to build and then ship the product. He needs to not raise money to start the build to then ship it eventually. That caused him a lot of headaches. Nobody wanted to wait for that because everyone's super impatient. So the beginning of this week, I think it was Monday, we sat down on an hour-long call and he went over a lot of the things and updates that he has been implementing and a lot of his plans for moving forward. And he has a lot of things that he showed me on that call that are ready to go right now already. He's already been working on them. They're already finished. They are ready to implement. And I was blown away. And I think you guys will also be blown away. And I promised him I wouldn't say anything as to what they actually were, but I think that everyone will be happy in the end. It's been a long ride. It's been a bumpy ride. And I'm excited to see how the market accepts what he's got right now. Because what he's got right now is something that the market has been asking for, but no one has been delivering on for years. And he did it. It's ready. And I was looking at it, and it's cool. And I think, honestly, it's going to help onboard the next wave of researchers. Instead of, no, I can't. I promised him I wouldn't. We have to wait for him to do it. I gave my word that I would allow for him to do things his way. David says, sorry, was on a call. You may have already said this, but if you had a little soul left to buy one compound, which would you buy right now? That's a good question, David. Now, here's my thoughts, okay? Here's my thoughts. I'm assuming you mean the pump science compounds. I have 2 different ways I would like to answer this. The first one is rewarding the winners, right? And so, well, okay, I have 3 ways to do it. First one, rewarding the winners. Come up here, pick one of the top 5 compounds that have done the best. Pick which one you think is the best team, best likelihood of winning, whatever, and put your money into it. Even though it's higher market cap than the other ones, it might end up doing really good. The second thing I would do is write each and every one of these down, okay? Go into all of them. Take this piece of information, right? Go into everything. Grab all that. Go to the more info. Get as much as you possibly can, right? Get all the data that you can possibly aggregate. It's going to be a little work, but it'll be worth it, right? Because look at, you can see all of this. You can get the skews and everything. Go through all of them. Get everything, put it into a document, give that document to ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini and ask it to do deep research. Prompt it with an explanation of everything that's going on, the studies, the analysis of the studies, like what the process is actually going to be, the idea of these health points. Go into these health points if you want to, get the documentation on how they're scored, feed it into an artificial intelligence. Grok is supposedly really good, right? And say, which one do you think, or of these, what are the top 5 that you think are going to perform the best and get the most health points? And then put your money into that, and please share it with me so that I can see as well, because that's probably going to be the best one to do, but it's going to take a lot of work. Or number 3, you could just organize these by market cap, come down to the, or sorry, excuse me, organize these by bonding, whether they've hit the bonding curve or not, see which ones haven't hit bonding curve, and go ahead and get into some of the ones that are furthest away from bonding curve. Vitamin C is only 44% of the way to bonding. So you go ahead and click on it. You come in here, see it's a $10,000 market cap, see the volatility that's going on here, see that they are 63% of the way to bonding, and just buy and wait for it to hit the bonding curve. Because I think all of them are going to hit bonding, and in order to hit the bonding curve, it's likely going to have to do more than a double up in market cap. And so you could just quickly double your money, hit the next one, do that process over and over again until everything is done with the bonding curve. So those are the 3 ways that I would go about it, but we'll see. It's up to you. Dynex is finally waking up. LFG. Let's go, John. Let's go. I think it had a big pullback today, though. Yeah, it's down 15%. So it definitely woke up. And I would love to see us hold the line, baby. Hold the line. We need to see Dynex hold the line. Get above all the moving averages and stop bleeding. If it can hold the line here, or somewhere in the, I'll be a little bit more lenient with it because we love it, but if it can hold the line somewhere in these moving averages right here, maybe it's like, you know, as long as it holds some of these moving averages and they can continue to move higher, I think we're good. I think it's off to the races, and I think that we're in store for a multi-dollar Dynex, and it's 5.5 cents right now. So I think that we're shooting straight back up, probably to 30, 40 cents, but then to new all-time highs. Either way, it's very exciting. And we have Jorian here saying, any news about DeSci? Let's go check out DeSci. Let's go check out DeSci. You guys know I love DeSci. You guys know I'm a firm believer in their team and what they're doing. I love the idea of personalized healthcare. They just hit 5,000 followers on X, so they are continuing to grow and expand. They did a little breakdown of their governance power and the rewards tokens. So if you're voting in the governance rounds with the DeSci token, you get rewarded in PO, which you can then redeem for more DeSci. So it is a beautiful little loop there. They've been continuing to fund those 2 research studies that they've done, and they're just trying to progress forward those research studies. So I don't know if there's any immediate news coming out, but now it's time to see how some of this research gets done. The rare compute is making moves forward, so let's go ahead and read through and see what some of them are up to. Let me take a sip of today's sponsor, though. Water. Not sponsored, although it should be. And it's water mixed with minerals. So it's mineral water. But it's better than just regular mineral water because this actually is. We have magnesium, selenium, chromium, potassium, Sodium, of course, although I don't think there's much sodium in it because they know that we get enough sodium in our day, but we got all of them. Manganese, everything that you need. And genuinely, since I've been taking this, I have not felt the need to be on stimulants anymore. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I was in an interview and they asked me about compensation. I said either that or one of these meme coins need to moon. And they said they hold 0 crypto, but I think it's going to take off, LOL. Let's go. And then I told her about Bill. Shill Bill, shill Bill, shill Bill. I see you all have liked that smash button. Excellent. Yeah. Liked that smash button. Smashed that like button. Steve the Canadian W. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Okay, so coming from Rare Compute. If you guys aren't following them, you should be following Rare Compute. This was the first study that was funded by Poseidon, by the DAO side of things, but their company is just called Poseidon now. And Gareth says it best. Why wouldn't you work in rare disease? I don't want to read that. It was this. I was going to read this, but it was from a while ago, so I was trying to see if there's anything newer or more exciting, but either way. Myasthenia gravis is an autoimmune disease that causes muscle weakness and fatigue. Maybe it's myo. It should be myo, I feel like, but either way. It happens when the immune system attacks the place where nerves connect to muscle, blocking the signals that tell your muscles to move. Pretty scary. It affects people of all ages, and up to 1 in 5,000 people live with this condition. That's actually an incredibly high rate if you think about it. 1 in 5,000 people with something like this is kind of scary. But too often, it goes undiagnosed for years because symptoms can come and go. Treatments are expensive, invasive, and not always effective. Research into better solutions still has a long way to go. At Rare Compute, we've been working on ways to change this, developing new tools to better detect and model the diseases at the molecular level. I'm going to reread that. At Rare Compute, we've been working on new ways to change this, developing new tools to better detect and model the disease at the molecular level. There's still much to learn, but each step brings us closer to more targeted treatments and faster answers for people living with that disease. Rare shouldn't mean neglected. Retweet. I love that. Love that. I did not retweet it, but I will repost it. So Rare Compute's just consistently been putting in working in order to help with some of these rare diseases and in order to just advance some of the personalized medicine. And personalized medicine is starting in a lot of these rare disease categories. It's a good area to go around, like the low-hanging fruit basically, and just pick it all off the trees and grab as much as you can. I really am a big fan of Rare Compute, and specifically Science Stanley, if I'm being totally honest. I think that guy has connections more than most people in decentralized science, and I think that he is going to make sure that what he's working on is super successful. And since he's working on Rare Compute, I think it'll be successful. And therefore, Poseidon will also be successful. Can you tell Delroy to change the buy tax on noble blocks to 0? It's not going to work, John. We've already told him more times than I could care to count. He's just going to do what he wants to do. We are here as investors, but he's going to build the product that he thinks needs to be built. What's good, just chill? Research Coin thoughts? I love Research Coin. I just tweeted this out today because people are upset and panicking over the crash today that's happening. I don't think that people should be upset about this crash. It's just volatility in the market. The whole market is volatile right now. And I tweeted this out. Every time Research Coin moves a penny, right? So it's 52 cents right now. Every time it moves 1 cent, I lose 100% of what I put in as my initial bag. We got into Research Coin down here when it was a penny. Now it's a little bit of an exaggeration, right? It was like 1.5 cents was my initial cost basis. Since then it's moved up a lot, but Every time it moves 1.5 cents, I lose 100% of what my initial bag was, right? And so you don't see me tweaking out about it. It's a $60 million market cap right now. This is a $10 billion project trading at $60 million in market cap. And I don't care, and honestly neither should you, if it's trading at 60 million, if it's trading at 80 million, if it's trading at 150 million, if it's trading at 30 million. It shouldn't bother you that much. It's a $10 billion company trading at $60 million. You're getting gold handed to you on a silver platter. If it goes up, cool. If it goes down, cool. It really shouldn't bother you that much. But everyone's like, I thought when it got listed, it was going to go up in a straight line and we were all going to be rich and retire. And it's like, well, that's just not how it works. That's just not how it works. And I'm not saying that was you, just chill. I'm just answering with my genuine thoughts. I'm not trying to target anyone specifically. But we're investors. We're here to make money, yes. But we're investing in up-and-coming newfound technology that is changing the way the world operates in a capacity that is roughly 25% of the total GDP of the United States. That's going to take a lot of time. That's going to take a lot of balls, to be honest. You're going to have to hold through some bullshit. And we've held through like 3 70% drops on this sucker, and we're still here kicking, and we'll keep kicking. Because this is such an easy play. If you can just zoom out 5 years from now, let's go look. Let's have some fun for a moment, okay? NVDA. You go look at NVIDIA, okay? Let's say that you understood the long-term thesis on what NVIDIA was as a company, right? And let's just go back in time a little bit, okay? Not even that far, right? This is 10 years ago. Let's go back 12 years ago because it was choppy and volatile. All right? You understood what NVIDIA was doing. You understood the long-term potential. AI was around in 07. AI has been around since the 70s, right? AI is not a new thing. AI has been around since the 70s. It just hadn't gotten to a good spot with the transistor model, or the transformer model, right? But regardless, NVIDIA dropped 85%. The company, I'm sure, was doing better than it was here, dropped 50%. Damn, that's painful. That's not something that you want to sit through. The company is still just progressively getting better. Dropped another 50%, this time over 2 years. Damn. Obviously, you don't want to sit and hold through that, but if you do, and you have the patience, and you understand the long-term vision of what's going on, you hold and you make disgusting returns. You hold, you buy more, you make disgusting returns. You go look at this one. 2018, for no real reason, it dropped 55%. Now, there was a reason at the time, but what was it? How many of you guys were in the market and remember what happened exactly in 2018? You know what I mean? Hopefully, you guys get what I'm saying. I understand NVIDIA is a rare one, but so is Research Coin, you know? It's a rare one. You don't often find gems like this. You do not. The entire industry of DeSci, it's not often that you come across gems like this. Even that, look at that. In 2022, interest rates went up and the market decided to discount NVIDIA at 67%. How wrong were they? Well, over the next 3 years, it decided to go up 1,500%. That's crazy work, guys. All love good. Good. Never fear, people of this internet place. After the 15th, we stabilize above 120 again. Final leg, stand on it hard. Let's go, Steve the Canadian. I have the 8th on mine. I don't think we'll be at new all-time highs by the 8th, but I think that this choppiness down will be over by the 8th. Hello. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. Thymokinine. But we have one of the pump science molecules in the house. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Everyone say hello. Actually, one of the best performing in the house. Number 3 is a function of market cap. W. Let's go. Aw. No, that's just what a lot of the charts look like right now, but this is not the true chart of what's going on here. I was in the market in 2018. I checked my holdings about once a year. What a time to be alive. What a time indeed. Can you even fathom that? Can you fathom right now checking your holdings only once a year? I cannot. Even once a day feels a little bit abstract to me. No, I'm just kidding. Once a week, and I would feel like I'm not doing my due diligence in my holdings. I'd be checking that stuff every moment of every day. Crazy work. But yeah, I was heavily paying attention to the market in 2018. I didn't know nearly as much as I do now. And I'll probably say, hopefully I say the exact same thing again when I look back in another 7 years. But I remember jumping into the market around here, right? Being like, ooh, choppiness, I should buy. And then right here, I remember being like, oh my God, we're about to have the biggest recession that the world has ever seen. And then it fell and I was like, oh, I was right. And I was like, we're going to go down so much. Like I'll start buying when we're down around 5,000. And then I missed out on this entire gain. And it wasn't until right here that I ended up putting all my money back into the market because I had sold out of all of it here. And so I actually ended up getting in again higher than when I sold out, which was painful. And then I just rode the market. I was like, yeah, we're not doing that again. And then COVID happened. I dumped everything in that I possibly had when we went to the moving average here. And then I fell even more, and then we've rebounded like crazy. And the rest has been history. And then I was like, what if I went all in on crypto and like really just made my entire existence, my personality, crypto? That'd be so cool. And then I stopped getting sleep. I'm just kidding. I'm just rambling as I delete all of these drawings. Okay. And oh boy, it has been fun since then. Average buyer owns more. I just bought Thike. As a matter of fact, like the founder, and the number of holders versus the market cap is better than most of the other compounds. Let's go. Nice. We got Sarah, a solid community member, a solid figure in the space of DeSci. Bullish on Sarah. Hopefully she does really good with this. I think she will. Crack my back, sorry. Hello, Beagle. Welcome. I'm in the middle of a rollover between custodians right now, so it's like my money disappeared. Rip. You need on-chain rollovers, you know? None of that scary nonsense with having to deal with people just hanging on to your money and you not knowing what's good. It's so interesting to think about. Like, I just want to look at this chart pattern for a moment, if you don't mind. But if we grab here, right? And do you see how right here we broke below the moving average, right? Came up, got rejected, fell down pretty aggressively, came up, got rejected again, and then fell down pretty substantially. You see that? If you get rid of that fall, we tried to have a V-shaped recovery back here, but we couldn't. If you go over here, it's the same exact setup up till right there, where we came down, went up, got rejected, fell, came up, got rejected, and everyone I think probably expected a giant fall, but it didn't end up happening. We just gapped up and then the rest is history. We've been on a crazy rally since. It is literally the same, except we had a divergence in fate, and it happened at the moving averages. That's why those moving averages are so important to watch on your chart, because it can really help you. Even if you end up not timing the bottom perfectly, it could save you from this kind of activity. Then you still get good gains even if you jump in here. I don't know. Hood. I remember someone saying Hood was doing well this morning. Hood is doing well this morning. Yeah. Let's go, baby. That's a W. Hood opened, fell 4%, and now it's rallying up 5%. That is a big, big intraday move for stocks. Look at that. If only Research Coin would do that. If only Research Coin would do that. Yeah. Thike. Let's go. Let's go. A $72,000 market cap. This thing is holding up beautifully. Biotech from 180 life science pivots to crypto. They make me afraid. They make me scared, dude. I'm not gonna lie. They make me kind of scared. But let's go ahead. Let's get them in DeSci then. Let's get them into DeSci, baby. How many of you guys held on to, or how many of you guys have purchased all of the Pump Science tokens? How many of you guys have purchased all the Pump Science tokens? What was it going to search? Let's just go ahead and search Bill Nye then. Why are people selling my boy? I took a screenshot of my account because yesterday it said that my Phantom account was down $6 million because of some of these glitches that were happening. Remember when I showed you this one, right? Remember how it said it was up at 10 cents? Yeah. My account said because of how many of them did that yesterday on the Pump Science that I was down like $6 million yesterday. And it was definitely painful. Even today, it still says I'm down $700,000. So I'm glad that's not the truth. That would be extremely painful. But no, my account, actually, this account I put $2,000 in for the Pump Science launches, and then went ahead and started buying some of them. And it's doing really good today. Just simply off the fact that all of them are bonding, right? They're all getting off the bonding curves and then getting on to the interface for Phantom. But we're in a good spot, guys. We're in a good spot because all these market caps for the Pump Science molecules are incredibly tiny. Incredibly tiny. Thank you, David. I have a strong conviction in Thike. We shall let the tests do the talking. Bullish. Bill has endorsed using every bid I have. Let's go. Thank you, Sarah. Bill appreciates it. Also, hopefully you guys saw it, but did you guys see his dashboard live and working? It's supposed to be live and working, but it's 2 days behind with the data, so I need to go make sure that it's still syncing everything correctly. Because clearly it's not, otherwise it should be refreshing with more. Like yesterday, I know for a fact when this thing updates, yesterday the Pump Science channel had way more messages, and I bet sentiment was pretty damn high too. So I'm gonna, after this, I'll probably go through and check and see exactly why it's not uploading. I think because I pushed it live on the 29th, so it's possible that like halfway through the 29th when I pushed it live, it just stopped refreshing. So that's what I'll be working on after this live stream. But you can come see, you can see all of the compounds in Pump Science. You can pick all companies, which would be DeSci Shillers or Pump Science. Or you can go in and just look at one of them. We have DeSci Shillers, the general chat, and you can look at the data. You can come in and look at the Pump Science data and see the total messages, see the active users, see the average sentiment across the Telegram, right? And then you have the activity trends here, which I'm sure a lot of you guys will like because Bill is measuring on 6 different unique measurements. So we have a spam measurement. So you can see how many messages are spam focused. So these numbers are percentages, right? And it's not the percent of messages that are spam. It's rather when you aggregate all messages what percentage of the messages represent spam-like activities. Because you can be extremely bullish, right? You can be extremely bullish and hype something up and have it be spam still. We've all seen that, where people just spam the same thing over and over again, but it is still super bullish, but it's spam. And so it's gonna have a percentage in both of them. It might be an 80% bullish message, but also a 90% spam message. So these metrics will not just add up to 100. They're always going to add up to more than 100. And I just want to let you guys know that. But let's say you get more hyperfixated and you want to see the research score across pump science. You can see pump science right now on the 22nd, we only had 0.5% of people talking about research. Nobody cared about the research. And now people are picking up the research to the point where about 10% of the messages are research. And then next week, when we get the launch of all the research, we'll actually get to see Bill diagnose the Telegram to see, hey, most of the people in pump science now are talking about research. And then you want to get even more specific, you come in and look at the compound specific statistics. Now, again, Art basically had no active messages over the last 30 days. If you go look at total messages, you'll see like nobody's really talking in the Art Telegram. So this will open up a little bit over time. And then all of the new Telegram channels that are happening, that's part of the update that's going on right now that I have to go diagnose after this live stream, because clearly not all the messages are coming through, because we would have data from yesterday and the day before. But there's a lot of new compound channels going on. And so I'm probably going to filter a lot so that you can see just the green ones which have tokens. Or you can get information on some of the other speaking channels. You can see whatever channel this one is, whatever language that is, has been less and less active over the last couple of days. And let's go see the shill spam ratio. So shilling has been going up, spam's been going down a little bit, but staying stable. You get it. This is the data, and here's Bill's sentiment on it. Early warning system. The community exhibits signs of low engagement and sentiment, with daily score indicating concerning activity. Intermediate intervention is recommended to boost research, collaboration, and coherence. This is directly from Bill. And of course, I will continue to update, but it's shipped. It's there. We're live, baby. Oh shit, we're live. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, all right. Well, that's kind of all I got, guys. Do you guys have anything that you want to talk about? Any new, cool, and exciting pieces of information you should share with me here right now, today, in this exact moment? Or shall we continue onwards with our Friday? I am super excited for the current state of DeSci. I know people are a little bit stressed out, but I'm hyped. In my original ETH wallet, I currently have $187 million. If Sheeb Toro ever comes back and unblacklists my account, I'm rich. That is crazy, Steve the Canadian. What the hell is Sheeb Toro? That's nuts. Oh, I do owe it to you guys to tell you about a potential top signal. My dad just bought $200 worth of Shiba Inu. So, while I don't feel like it's a top right now, I do owe it to all of you guys to inform you that my 83-year-old father is now invested in Shiba Inu again. He was invested many years ago, and he actually made a killing on it. He also was invested in Doge many years ago, and he made a killing on that as well. He put like 20 bucks in Doge, and he cashed out like $2,000. Okay? So all I'm saying, though, that is that an 83-year-old family member is now invested in Shiba Inu, and I owe it to all of you guys to know. Brian Armstrong has spaces in 10 minutes. Coinbase. Let's go. Let's go. Recent evidence has proven that the moon is just a rotated exact copy and reverse image of everything going on Earth, and that's kind of crazy. Yeah. I feel like I've seen that, Steve the Canadian. Do we have actual confirmation that that's truth? I don't know. I am questioning your source with it. I have seen that before. I just never looked into it, so I don't know definitively if it's true or not, you know? I can take your word, but I'm just saying. Aw, crap. I know, guys. I know. Get Brian on Thike. We need to. DeSci asks, Patrick with a C, is Noble dead? Noble is not dead. Like I said at the beginning, Dad not holding Bill. No, he's holding Bill. He's holding a lot of Bill, actually. But I said at the beginning, DeSci, I just had a call with Delroy this week on Noble and on everything he's been building lately. And he explained to me how he believes that his mistake in all of this was launching without having stuff finished, and then like raising the money to build stuff, and then everyone was pissed at him because he hadn't just shipped stuff that they wanted him to ship. And so he took the time to just stop, build everything he needed to build, and now he's ready to move forward with everything. And he showed me everything this week on Monday, and it looks incredibly exciting. It all looks like it's done. It all looks great. He's battle testing it. He's making sure it all works good. They had to rebuild a lot of the Noble Blocks platform because of some limitations with ICP. And so he apparently figured out a solution for it, and they're ready to go forward with everything. But it all, he told me to wait and let him announce the things the way that he wants to announce it, and to move forward the way he wants to. And so I'm giving him that respect, but I'm extremely excited for everything he showed me. He showed me a bunch of Loom videos. He showed me a bunch of screen sharing stuff. We talked for like an hour on Monday. And so I'm amped up. I'm still holding on to all my Noble. I'm not buying any more right now, but that's mostly because I have a lot of it. And so I'm just hanging on to what I do have. And I'll be happy and excited when he starts onboarding all these researchers and scientists. And I believe that what he showed me will assist in onboarding the next wave of researchers to be Web3 DeSci native instead of traditional native. And so I'm excited. We'll see what it all ends up happening though. Time for me to go stretch. But time is your most valuable asset, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully this was worth investing it into. I appreciate all of you guys being here with me. W Thike, let's go. Gorgeous looking chart. You want to see where I bought? Bam. Bam. Let's see what we're up on the bag. Let's take the top of that range. Ooh, we're up 222%. Bullish on self-awareness. I agree, Beagle. It is good. It's good that he actually took the time to recognize the complaints and understand and see how to move forward with it. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all on Monday. It is Fitness Friday, so make sure you guys go do something to take care of your body. What's the point in making all this money if you're not going to actually be around to use any of it? So go outside, stare at the sun, touch some grass, do some push-ups, go on a run, kayak. I'll probably go kayaking tomorrow. I've been loving kayaking with Mandy. All right. I'll see you all on Monday.